Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and that is the 2024 Honda Odyssey, an aging platform but perhaps still one of the best. I'm in LA for the LA Auto Show and Honda was nice enough to give me this for my ride while I was in town, and in this video I'm going to take you on a quick tour. All right, gearheads, first I want to say a huge thank you to Honda for supplying me with wheels while I'm in California for the LA Auto Show. Huge help. They actually surprised us at the auto show with a Honda Prelude concept that was first shown off in Japan, so go check that video out. But I'm here to talk about the Honda Odyssey now and see if this really is better than the leader like the Toyota Sienna or even the Chrysler Pacifica, both of which we've tested long-term here on the channel. And since I've got the hood up, let's go ahead and talk about what motivates this thing. We actually have a V6 in this, where many brands are ditching the V6 left and right, including Honda with their Accord midsize sedan. We still get a 3.5 liter VTEC V6 powering the front wheels in this Honda Odyssey. It makes 245 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque, made it to a 10-speed automatic that has been standard since the 2020 model year, and as I said, motivating only the front wheels. So in the competition with Chrysler and Toyota, both of which offer all-wheel drive options, that is not an option here on the Odyssey. It is front-wheel drive only, but it does make similar power to the hybrid-only Toyota Sienna, so just something to note there. Closing the hood, we can talk about the styling of this minivan. This generation dates back to 2018, but for 2021, it did get some exterior styling updates, which included an updated front fascia and all around just a general mid-cycle refresh things. If you do the math, 2018 to 2021, and now we're in 2024, you know that we're about due for a full model refresh. This is on a shared platform with the Honda Pilot, Honda Passport, Honda Ridgeline, and we know that the Pilot has gotten a new body style, but the Passport and Ridgeline are still waiting for a new update as well. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how Honda comes out of all the pandemic slowdown and updates some of their vehicles. But as we look at it, we've got LED lights, LED running lights up front, LED fog lights, but interestingly enough, incandescent turn signals that are placed down here, very low. Very interesting. I would imagine that, especially in East Texas, it'd be hard for tall lifted pickup trucks to actually see those down on the front bumper. Coming around to the side, you get some nice sculpted styling. It isn't overdone, just gives some nice visual interest, especially here in our silver paint job. This is the top elite trim, and the most recent Chrysler and Toyota products that we've had were the Pinnacle plug-in hybrid from Chrysler, which is their top most expensive trim, and the Toyota XLE Woodland Edition, which is not. This actually is priced right in line with that XLE Woodland and is far more feature-packed than that. You have to go up into the 60s for either of those other minivans to truly max out on their luxuries. We'll get to that here in just a little bit, but I did want to call out pricing as we got into this one a little early. Coming down to the wheels and tires, these are very interesting, kind of speed designed wheels. They look like they're going even when they're sitting still. There's a little bit of a two-tone design to them, wrapped in these Bridgestone Turanza tires. A rather nice look. They've done really well for me. When I actually picked this up from LAX, it was raining in Southern California, a rarity for sure, but it provided sure-footed traction for me, even in spite of it not being all-wheel drive. So I really appreciate that. I'll bring you down here to show you these are two 35/55 R19s. So 19-inch wheels with a decent tire on them that, like I said, performed very well even in adverse conditions. Looking at the body side from the broadside, you can see that sculpted line coming from the front and the dipping line in the window line. I remember when this design cue was first introduced, they appealed to people who are, well, then my age, now with some 80s hairband music. And well, I can say I appreciate that it's not just a missile-like design, that there's some interesting design elements to it. They also do a really good job of hiding the track for these sliding doors. You really can't see it from a distance. And they also give some visual distinction here with this floating roofline, though I wonder how much this glass panel costs to replace, just given its odd shape and design. But let me know what you think of the overall side design on this. But as we come around back to the back, you can see a very classy, very modern, updated style to what Honda has been delivering for years with their minivan. It is kind of trapezoidal. It gets wider as it goes down to the base of the vehicle. You can see we don't have LED lights back here. We've got incandescent turn signals. So again, showing a little bit of the age of this vehicle dating back to 2018. We'll talk more about the age of it when we get inside. I would show you the kick to open feature, but the vehicle's actually running and I don't think it works. But we do have a power lift gate with an interesting feature that I've only really seen on BMWs, and that is the hinge mechanism for the lift gate itself. So we actually do not have the hinges running down the side, which gives us a much wider opening. The only other vehicle that I've seen these style power operated hinges on was a very expensive BMW XM. So just goes to show you, Honda really thought about the practicality of this cargo compartment, really giving you the widest possible opening, completely forgoing those gas struts that many automakers use on power lift gates like this. It is a programmable hatch, so you can adjust just how wide it opens, but look how massive that hole is. And as we get down here to the cargo compartment, it is a very deep well as well. The cargo space back here, Honda actually gives us two different measurements. I'm going to give you the SAE measurement, which is the more conservative and is more in line with what other automakers actually report as well. In the very back, behind the third row, you get a massive 32.8 cubic feet of space. The Toyota Sienna, which I'm going to compare this to most, gives you just a little bit more at 33.5. Fold the second row seats down, you get a massive 86.6, which bests the Sienna's 75.2. And fold all the seats down, and you get an impressive 140.7 cubic feet, which just absolutely trounces the Sienna's 101. Another very interesting thing about the rear seat is, for one, I really like the folding mechanism. It is hinged right here, much like the Chrysler Pacifica, which I prefer for chromes and just the overall ease of use. But you can see they call it the magic seat, and it tells you exactly how to fold it. But the best feature, I think, in my book, is what I call tailgate mode. And you can actually flip the seats down just like this, come back here, see if I can do it. Oh, bonk my head. And you can get very comfortable in the back of your Honda Odyssey. This is really an awesome feature. And then we've got some storage in here, so if you want to put your phones or something, you also come around here, have a power outlet with some more storage down here. So Honda really has thought about the tailgating aspect of this minivan, and it absolutely trounces all the other competition from Chrysler, Toyota, and even possibly Kia. So I haven't really talked much about them because they don't really call theirs a minivan. But yes, very comfortable tailgating option. Chrysler used to offer a third row seat like this, but when they went from Town and Country to Pacifica, they nixed that design. But I'm going to crawl out now and show you that we can, whoops, I drug that headrest out with me, but you can still very easily store this seat. Of course, doing it one-handed when it's already halfway folded, it's going to be just a little bit difficult. So we'll try it one more time. Just one fluid motion gets it down. Like I said, it is easier if you've got a couple hands, but there you go. That is a massive opening right there. And as you can see, we've got just a slight sloping floor down to that second row of seats, but I can't imagine needing more space than this. I'll go ahead and call out just because it's a little easier to see. Unlike the Sienna, we actually do get sunshades back here in the back. We get the plugs for power and for our audio jacks on both sides, and you get a USB-A port over here and air vents for those third row passengers. Putting these seats back up is more simple than how I ended up putting them down. You can just flip them up from that handle right there and then pull the handle right there. We also get a few hooks for putting grocery bags. That way your stuff doesn't just float around back here. I'll go ahead and show you. This is opened now to its max height. I'm 5'10", still got plenty of room. And like I said, it is adjustable. All right, gearheads, before we crawl inside, I do want to show you the key, typical Honda key fob. And I just want to take a moment to praise Honda for this key fob because they do what very few automakers can. They give you all the necessary buttons on a key fob that isn't just massive. And this being a minivan, we also get 2 extra buttons for those power sliding doors. Nissan is about the only other automaker that consistently gives a very compact key fob here that doesn't just take up tons of room in your pocket, purse, or wherever. But you see, we have lock, unlock. You push to hold the sliding doors, which will open and deploy in this fashion, which I really like. And then you can close them from the key fob as well. I paused the other door in motion, remote start and power hatch, all of which you can access from the key fob, but there is passive entry here on the Odyssey, at least on the front doors. You put your hand on the back, that unlocks it, push this button right here, that locks it back, and you get a little beep to let you know that it is locked. Coming in to the vehicle, the name of the game is storage in here, and Honda does it so well. Not only do we get a little storage here, we get a tray of storage here with a cup holder and maybe some change or trash. And then I've been storing my trash down here, but tons of storage in the door alone. There is some gloss black plastic, which isn't my favorite, but we do get a 2-person memory seat that actually moves back for ease of entry and exit. This van really does coddle and pamper you. It has been an excellent ride while I've been here in LA. And like I said, it was raining and dark when I got here. And this really was an easy vehicle just to get in and drive. I'm gonna go ahead and get away from the 101 traffic outside, hop in, put my foot on the brake, and start that V6 engine up. My seat scoots forward to get a little more comfortable. We've got the digital screen here. Again, the IP in here just feels a little old and outdated. Again, it dates back to 2018. We have seen some updates over the years, but just a little on the outdated tech side. But before we get to all that, we're going to start over my left knee here. We do have a fair amount of buttons. Again, this being the top Elite trim, I am kind of surprised that we have some blanks. But you see we have rocker switches for the doors, open and close. That is the same back in the back. Other automakers actually put them up here in the center so that the passenger can assist with the door open and close features, but you can turn the power slide on and off. That way your kids can't play with them. I know Tucker really loves those. We do have an electronic parking brake and a parking brake release here, hatch button, traction control, all your Honda sensing, safety stuff, and your parking sensors. Coming over here to the steering wheel, typical Honda steering wheel with all your buttons right here. Lane keep, adaptive cruise control, heated steering wheel. All your radio controls are over here. You can adjust some of the things on the screen here. You can see I've driven 121.4 miles. I've been idling a little bit today, so I'm killing my fuel economy just a little, but 23.6. Not bad for a 3.5 liter V6 engine. We do have a 10-speed with paddle shifters back here. You have all your light controls on this stock and all your wiper controls. Let's see if I can show you over here on this side. I can tell you this does have automatic wipers, which came in handy. Coming over to the smallish, I believe it's a 7-inch infotainment system. Let me actually pull up my notes just to make sure that we're 8-inch infotainment. The Toyota gets a 9-inch, so 8-inch infotainment here, a little on the small side. A little slow to work through some of the navigational stuff on it. The navigation on it itself is not my favorite. And the whole reason I know that, and the reason I have this nifty little mount right here, is I forgot my USB-A port, and this only has wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Navigation, not great on here, and no Apple CarPlay translated to me needing to have my phone within line of sight. Again, little bit dated on the technology. Would really love to see Honda implement their wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto on a new, bigger screen. But again, I think it'll be a year, 2 or 3 before we see a all-new Honda Odyssey. Again, this is a touchscreen. You can go through a few different things in here. We'll get to cabin watch here in just a second. That's one of my favorite features. But we do have AM, FM, and Sirius XM. We have tri-zone climate here, so you can see driver, passenger, and rear. Rear climate, you just hit this button right here, which does change your infotainment screen and helps you pick out a little bit more. Really like that. And when we're talking about climate, heated and ventilated front seats that, remember, where you had them set every time you turn the vehicle off and back on. So even though it's kind of cool here in LA and has been raining, I've pretty much exclusively been using the ventilated seats, and it remembers that I had it on every single time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Honda. I do not really care for the push button gear selector for that 10-speed automatic. I would prefer a mechanical lever or something in place of this, because this really doesn't save you a lot of space. It just takes that awkward handle out of the way and allows for a little more symmetrical design. But I had to be honest, in my short time with it, I've not loved the buttons. I know that they've used this across the board in their vehicles. It's just not my favorite. We do get a couple drive modes. We have normal, econ, and snow. You have your auto start stop off button right here, hazard lights, and your passenger automatic airbag indicator over here. You can see I've got all my stuff loaded down. I'm about to be headed to the airport, but very comfortable seats here with armrests, because the center console is very low. I would say Toyota wins the center console game, followed by Chrysler, followed by Honda. This is nice, but it's not great. So we have a Qi wireless charger right here. We have a deep storage with a roller shade right here. We've got USB-A ports, an auxiliary port, and just a little bit of rubberized storage in here so things don't roll around. We do have some cord management, which I like. And then we have this big hole down here. I like just the bridge style that Toyota offers and some of the top trims of Chrysler offers. What I don't really care for, and have noticed, I left some props in here. There's nothing to keep smaller, thinner items in your cup holders from rolling around. This is true of every single cup holder in this vehicle. It just bounces around. So need to have some like rubber grippers in here to keep that from happening. We do have the rear entertainment system with a rather small 10.2-inch screen back there with Blu-ray. So there is that. Again, noting there's only USB-A ports in here. I've also been using the household style outlet. This actually rotates to close, so you don't have to worry about safety issues, but regular household style outlet there, and a cigarette lighter style plug right there. All works very nicely. It would be very easy for Holly to put her purse there and whatnot, but fairly nice, just not my favorite in this category. I do believe cabin watch is my favorite. So while Chrysler has fam cam, because they have a massive panoramic roof, the camera is actually in between the second and third row, which for Tucker means we're looking at the back of his head. The cabin watch camera here in this one is right behind my head on the system for that rear entertainment system. So I'm looking at the front of everybody's face. Now, if Tucker were in a rear-facing car seat, I would say the opposite. I would prefer the fam cam in Chrysler, but rear-facing car seats are very temporary. this really works for all age children. We also get a convex mirror up here for if you don't have cabin watch, but I really like this. What I miss about Fam Cam is you can't zoom in on any of the seats, so you just get one standard image, but it is nice to have that right there in front of you. You can have it while you're driving, nice wide angle, and then you can actually do a cabin talk with this, which uses microphones up here to project my voice back to occupants back in the back. So I really like that a lot as well. While we're up here, I'll talk about, we do have the standard size sunroof, which again, panoramic roofs in a minivan, it's really more about like the entertainment systems and fun. I prefer the roof or ceiling mounted versions versus the back of the seat method for a couple reasons, especially here in this Honda that you'll see when we get back there. Although we don't get a rear view camera mirror, so if the screen is down, it is actually small enough that it only barely hinders, I'll go ahead and show you, only barely hinders my view out of the back window here, but it is still a potential hindrance back behind me. Good headroom, good comfort, good everything up here. Let's pop back to that second row. There is a ton to show you, including a game-changing feature that nobody else offers. All right, coming to these sliding back doors, there is no kick to open like Toyota. Again, showing the dated nature of this minivan, but there is a lot going on here in the second row. So much so that I had to use the tripod to show you. But we do have a sliding second row seat, nothing surprising there. The wheel or the seat travel is not as much as Kia or Toyota with their super long slide. This is as far back as I can go. I did move my front seat up, you'll see here in a little bit, but I've got plenty of room in the second row here with some air vents. But the real story, I'm gonna move over and show you, is this center seat, which does have lower latch points for a child seat. You can flip and fold it down to have a center console with 3 cup holders and a little bit of storage here. But I'm actually gonna open my door because there is a secondary latch down here that allows you to, well, just pick it up and remove the entire seat from the vehicle. And you may be wondering, well, why on earth would you want to do that? Well, for one, you get this nice pass through now so you can get through to the back. If you don't need 3 across here in the center here, so you can have buckets or a bench back here, which I really like. And then coming back to my seat here, another just game-changing feature is the fact that I can slide to the center of the vehicle. The passenger seat can also slide, so you can really change up the seating in here. This seating configuration very much reminds me of the first generation of minivans that I grew up with a bench seat that was shorter on the side with the door that allowed you to crawl into the back seat. This is really nice. It allows for a better secure child seat, but you can also have the child seat in the middle and then slide the child seat over to you to get the kid in and out. But it really is just a total game changer for the segment. Nobody else offers it, and I hope this is a feature that does not go away. The seatbelt is also naturally integrated into the seat because the seats can move just so much. But that is not all with these seats. So to get into the back, you can slide them forward just like this. They are not child seat friendly if a child seat is in place, but that's okay because you can move them so much. But what is interesting is this lever right here tilts the seat forward, but not really enough to do much of anything. And then it leaves you with the rails just kind of awkwardly sticking up here. So I think this is a feature that really could just go away because it doesn't really add much benefit to the overall package. Really just kind of complicates things just a little bit more in the grand scheme of things. But I'm actually gonna take you off the tripod now and show you a little bit more of the second row. Climbing in is very easy. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the rocker close to close this back door. But I like the 2-tier pocket system here, so you could have phones or tablets up here and more stuff down here. Lots of storage. Again, I told you, Honda does storage very well. We get a couple cup holders. Again, with some detriments back here, a little bit of power and HDMI input back here for that screen, but very nice implementation there. We also get some storage here in the door with a cup holder, little bit of interesting storage right here, not sure what you do there, and a little bit narrow storage here. We do get sunshades, manual sunshades on the windows here, and because they're fairly rectangular, it closes or covers most of it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you just how much the window rolls down here. Little bit left, but does a very good job rolling down. There are multiple ways to get out of here, from the button to pulling on the latch right here to pushing any of the other buttons throughout the vehicle. Again, I've moved this seat back to where I have it to drive. Plenty of room back here. And again, you can slide this forward and backwards. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you, since I'm in here, to the middle. Very nice. Sliding back and looking up, this is your cabin watch camera. Again, very wide fisheye lens. And then your smallish screen back here for watching movies and whatnot. You do get that third zone control for the climate up here on the driver's or the passenger side. So just plan accordingly if you're gonna have kiddos riding back here. All three seats here in the middle row do offer lower latch points. I did tell you that the center seat, which I have removed right now, does have lower latch points and top tethers, but I took it out so that I could very easily climb back here in the back. Do also want to show you, we've got lower latch points on the outboard seats, but nothing in the middle. We have top tethers all the way across. These headrests, let's see if I can get it to go up one-handed. There we go. Are very large and need to be lifted in order to sit here, just because they are in your back otherwise. And we do have the center seatbelt located up here in the ceiling. And then coming back and sitting here, this seat is all the way back and is in a comfortable seating position for me. I'm in a very comfortable seating position right now. I've actually got the seat reclined all the way now. I am so comfortable back here. Minivans really are the best family vehicle. They are one of the best three-row vehicles on the market. You really cannot beat a solid minivan, and that is true here in the Odyssey, even though it's an aging platform, because we still get luxuries back here in the back, including power over here. We get that USB-A port over there. We've got the aux jack, and we've got the air vent that I showed you earlier. And something Sienna doesn't offer is, well, they do offer on higher trims, but they are so teeny tiny. We get a nice sized rear sunshade here on the back window. So very nice that we have sunshades all the way back, and comfort in all three rows. I know that was a lot. We covered a lot, but now it's time to hop back behind the wheel and show you how this thing drives. Setting off in the Honda Odyssey. Again, I told you when I got this, it was dark outside and raining, and I couldn't get Apple CarPlay to work. So I really was stepping into a foreign environment, but having spent time in Hondas, this is a very Honda vehicle. If you've been in any other Honda product, you know what to expect. All the IP feels very familiar and similar. Like I referenced this being built on a shared platform with the Ridgeline, which was the most recent vehicle we had on this platform. Feels very familiar. When you get inside, everything just is in its place, and you know. That being said, the V6 engine and the 10-speed automatic. I feel like maybe we have a few too many gears, because when you push it, it takes a while to get into a gear that actually gives you enough power to move. So while we've got decent power from this V6, it feels like maybe it's hampered by just maybe too many gears in the gearbox. And there have been a few instances with California traffic on the 101 and whatnot heading into LA proper that I kind of wish I had just a little more get up and go than this V6 and 10 speed have. That being said, it is also only front wheel drive, so I know that negates like a big portion of the northernmost states who just will not buy a vehicle that does not have all-wheel drive, which to me, I still remember when front-wheel drive was considered the traction king and all-wheel drive was like a rich luxury vehicle option, or something that you only expected on premium vehicles, not something you really expect on practically everything now. So the traction in this, especially given the fact that when I got it, it was raining, very inclement weather. I never felt hurt or hampered by the fact that this was front wheel drive only, but I know that is a big deal for many. I do suspect that future models will get all-wheel drive. I really like what Toyota does with theirs. There is no mechanical connection between the front and rear wheels. It's an electric motor back in the back. I firmly suspect Honda to go to a hybrid only powertrain moving forward, because they are expecting 50% of the Accord sales volume to be hybrids. I really think they're just going to bite the bullet and go all hybrid for the Honda Odyssey to keep up with the competition from Toyota. We'll see what changes there, but those are my predictions. Also, getting in it and driving it around, the steering is light but not like floaty where you just have to drive it with your fingertips. Makes school pickup lines, parking lots, makes all of that very simple, very easy to maneuver at low speeds, though it is not a race car at high speeds. It is still a long, big, floaty family vehicle, and I don't say floaty in a bad way. The suspension soaks up a lot of the bumps. It is not harsh and rough, but again, it's not a sports car. It is not something you will want to be driving at high speeds. But I will say the road I'm on right now, Malibu Canyon Road, it's the same road I reviewed the Chevy Silverado ZR2 that I had last time I was in LA for the auto show. This is a windy, curvy road, and this is the same road I came in on when I landed in LA and drove out here to my hotel in Calabasas. And I can tell you that it handles the curves quite well, even in inclement weather. So again, I'm not so much worried about this being a front-wheel drive only platform. I know front-wheel drive means you're putting a lot of work on those front wheels and tires, but it does quite well here in the Honda Odyssey. No complaints. The ride is smooth and comfortable. Everything about this vehicle does very well for me. Some notes from being in stop and go traffic. This does have lane keep. This does have Honda Sensing suite of driver safety and assistance tech. So there's a lot going on. Full adaptive cruise control, but not with the stop and go. So if you come to a complete stop in traffic, you're gonna have to give the accelerator a tap to resume going. Just a minor annoyance. I assume, again, future models, when they upgrade them, will have full stop and go just to keep up with the competition. And then the brake indicator warnings up here. If you are accelerating close to maybe a vehicle that is slowing down, you get a visual warning here on the screen, flashes orange at you. And if it's really bad, it'll beep at you. I could show you, but I don't want to. Just take my word for it on that one. Otherwise, I have been very happy and pleased with this vehicle in all situations. It's been very comfortable. I just want to get one back home in Tyler. I want to put Holly behind the wheel, see what she thinks. I know she won't care about some of the compromises in technology. I really like stuff like the ventilated seats, remembering that they were on. That second row bench seat with that magic slide, total game changer. The tailgate functionality of that third row, game changer. I really like a lot about this vehicle. I just can't wait till the next iteration for them to perfect on what they've got going here. Honestly, in my opinion, for the price, just over $50,000 for this top trim Elite, I'd have to say it is perhaps the best in the segment. You do have to make some sacrifices on fuel economy. Again, I'm seeing 23 as I sit right now. I've been idling a bunch. I'm stuck in traffic right now. It's part of the sacrifices you make with a non-hybrid V6. But visibility is good and practically excellent. We get this little mirror here, or window here. The mirrors are kind of set out and very easy to see down. I do have blind spot warnings. I have a rear camera. No 360 cameras in this one, as I put it in reverse here. No 360, but still very nice visibility all the way around in this one. I'd have to say, if we were shopping minivans, this one would be high, if not on the top of my list. Well, that is about it for my time here in LA altogether. If you haven't checked out my stuff from the LA Auto Show, go find that stuff. A lot of cool stuff, including new products from Honda. Huge thanks again to Honda for giving me this vehicle to test while I was in town. If you want to see more stuff from us, hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you're notified every time a new video drops. Find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, everything at GT Garage Talk. Or you can just go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, saying goodbye to LA in the 2024 Honda Odyssey Elite. Until next time, gearheads. Bye.